Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Land Stories Live. This is Dave Denniston, your host with Generation Family Properties, our LLC, where our goal is to help hundreds of people just like you own land. Most of all, we would love to tell your land story. Well, I have someone who has a land story for us today. Her name is Christy. Christy, welcome back to the podcast.
I know, it's been forever. Hello, everyone.
Now, Christy, I know we've been teasing for a while about you buying some land. So maybe we can talk about that a little bit. And we're going to talk about the largest landholders in America. I know we're going to be covering the third largest one. And we got to talk about a property. We got a new one in Cibola County, New Mexico. So we'll talk about that. Well, Christy, give us an update on you. It's been a while since you've been on the podcast. What have you been up to? How you been?
Oh, bored in social distancing, my little heart out. Yes. Staying healthy, so I can't complain. And now I'm a property owner, not one of the top 10, but still a property owner. So I'll take it.
You wouldn't be here if you're part of the top 10, I'm sure.
I don't know. You never know. It's a pretty fun job.
It is. That's true.
Yeah. So I got a property in Forbes Park because I've been threatening. Anyone that watches these videos for a while knows I've been threatening it. Every time I see one, I'm like, ooh, somebody better hurry or I'm going to do it. And I finally did it.
What was crazy too was like, I let you know, hey, we're going to be looking at this. You're like, ooh, I want it. And then like the day you posted it, there was like 2 or 3 other people within a couple of days. So you snatched it up before someone else could.
Yeah. As soon as I saw the pictures and the view, I was like, just hit me. I was like, oh, I want that property. So we got it.
So tell us why. What was it about that area? Why Forbes Park? Why that property? How did you decide that?
Well, we have been debating. So Colorado's always been a big one. Oregon's beautiful. And then now New Mexico is on my list too, which I never in a million years would have thought. But because I've now seen it, I didn't know it was so beautiful. So that's on my list too. So they've all been kind of rolling around in the back of my head. And like I said, it was literally when I saw one of the pictures of this one, it was quite high. And it overlooks a little pond. And you can see the other mountain across the way. And I don't know, just something just hit me about it. All the properties that I see, and I think that's probably how a lot of people feel. Like you see it and you're just like, yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Yeah. It's like a house. My wife and I, when we got our first house, we were in Washington State at the time. And so we drive up and we're looking at a few different houses. We drive up to this one and there's no lights, like anywhere around the house. Like the whole electrical grid was off. And so our realtor has her lights on and we go into this house and my wife like walks in and right that moment she said, oh, this is it. This is the house. And I'm like, are you kidding me? We can't even see. There's no lights in this house. And I said, we have to come back. Like it looks nice, dark, but that doesn't mean anything. So we get back, we check it out, and yeah, it was gorgeous. It was the house, obviously, that we got. But
so see, she knew. It was just a feeling.
It's a woman's intuition. Listen to the wives.
Do you know a really good lesson of my story is, like I said, I told you right away. Like as soon as I saw the pictures and did the website listing, I sent Dave a message and I said, I want this one. And had I waited, couple hours, it would have been gone.
Yeah, that's true.
So I was something just told me, because I think I even messaged you really early and I knew you wouldn't get it for a while, but I was like, I'm just going to put it out there that I want this because I don't know. And thank goodness I did, because it would have been gone otherwise. Yeah. So that's a lesson to everybody out there. When you see one that you like, get it, because we've had some disappointed people before.
We want happy people, and it's I'll tell everyone, this year has been nuts. I've been in this business 3 years and I have never seen properties go as quickly as they have with the coronavirus. Even before, I mean, we were having quite a few properties go every single month, even before coronavirus came
Yeah.
out. So if you love it, please let us know as soon as possible. And we've even changed some of our policies. Before, I always said whoever signs and pays first gets it, which led to some hard feelings in some cases. And so I felt bad. And so we changed the policy now where we will hold a property for 48 hours if you send us your information. So before, we always had that policy, but now we put a new one in place. So we will put a property on hold for you if you send us your contract info. So do that, and we'll hold it for you for 48 hours to allow you to make a decision, whether you want to check it out or ask questions to the county or whatever. And then we might have people in line behind you. So just don't wait too long.
Have a line behind you.
Wait too long.
I think that 10-acre property in Colorado had a line of about 6 people.
I know.
Ready.
I know. And sometimes people do fall off. It does happen.
Yeah, they do.
I think that was a property where 2 people went out there and like, no, it's not really for me. And then the third person was ecstatic that they got it. So that does happen. So if you see it pending, we'll let you know for sure whether or not it sticks around, because it might stick around. It's hard to say. We never know. I always like to say what's going to happen. Well, Christy, anything else you want to add there for this part of the conversation?
No.
Okay, cool. Well, we have been covering the largest landholders in America. And for me, this has just been inspirational to see what people are doing and where they've come from. And a lot of names I have never heard of before in going through this. People that are multimillionaires and billionaires. And it's inspiring for me, listening to their stories and hearing about them. And I know, Christy, you're going to talk about the 3rd largest landholder in America today. Who is it? Who is the 3rd largest?
Well, a little teaser, he used to be number 1.
Used to be number 1. He's fallen down.
Slacking off now. And another fun fact I have about him. Okay, so Ted Turner. Everybody's heard of Ted Turner, I would imagine. Founder of CNN. Huge, I think it was the first 24-hour news network in the U.S. Mm-hmm. Guess what? Today is the 40th anniversary of their first day on air.
Really? Today is the 40th?
Coincidence. Yep.
Wow.
40 years today. 1980, June 1st was their first broadcast. So what a coincidence that we're talking about him today.
That was not planned.
No, not at all. When I saw that, I actually kept looking and I was like, is this new? And I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. So yeah, 40 years today.
Wow. Cool. So he founded CNN. Anything else about him that might be good for folks to know? Well,
I'll just move right on to the land because I love this part of it. He has 2 million acres.
2 million acres.
2 million acres. So it's like 16 farms in the US and 3 in Argentina. Mm. And what got him started buying land was he wanted to raise bison. He read a book when he was a kid about how there used to be 20 million or 30 million bison when Christopher Columbus came. And then 200 years later, or however, I think it was 200 years later, there were only a few hundred left because, of course, they got decimated. So he now has 51,000 bison because he uses them for breeding and like sustainable meat and stuff like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. But let me look here because we've got there's 6 states and 2 of them we have, which I thought was cool. So Colorado, you obviously have a lot of property there. Mm-hmm. Kansas, Montana, Nebraska, New Mexico, which we're going to cover in a minute, and then South Dakota. So he likes those prairie states, and he says it's because he wants to raise bison. That was his whole goal with buying all that property, which I think is, as an animal lover, I think it's amazing.
Well, I know he's done a lot of things like that over the years. I think what's fascinating about someone like this is just how many things he's done. There was CNN, TBS he helped to found as well. TNT came from Turner as well. He sounded like he started with the billboard business. So they did outdoor advertising first. And he also bought the Braves, the Atlanta Braves. So he's been an owner of them for a while. Apparently, he has quite the mouth. He has nicknames the Mouth of the South and Captain Outrageous. So he is not afraid to speak his piece. So I think what's interesting, if you look at what he's done to create wealth for himself, it's starting multiple things, right? He didn't just stop with CNN. He's done billboard advertising is where he started out with. He's bought sports teams. He's bought started multiple cable channels, and then of course he sold some of that stuff. Time Warner bought all of those entities from him. And gosh, probably is happy he did, because gosh, to own a cable channel now, not a good time, I would imagine. All the cord cutting and everything. Anything else about his ranches? Does he besides breeding the bison, is he doing any sort of cattle ranching or anything like that he's doing?
Not that I saw. It was actually in 1976 he got his first bison, and I think it's a bit of an obsession for him. He actually buys properties based on how conducive it is to bison and raising them, because it's a big goal of his to get them, off the endangered species list and back to, I guess, as natural as they can be, which I think is amazing.
Cool. I'm looking, he has a website, tedturner.com, and there's a specific section there for the ranchers. So if you want to read up on it, there's all kinds of stuff there. And he has several businesses within it. Sounds like they have an outfitting, commercial hunting and fishing division on some of the ranches. So a lot of stuff you can do with it. Apparently one of them's even in Argentina. So it's not even just in the US. He has some stuff.
I think he's 3 in Argentina, I read.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that pretty well covers it. 2 million acres. Wow.
That's a lot of acres.
That's a lot of acres. You can spend your time just going from place to place, let alone.
Yeah, you can get lost on those farms, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. Well, you talked about New Mexico. We have our featured property in New Mexico today. Christy, do you want to share your screen? You want me to share mine? Let's talk about New Mexico.
Oh, it says I'm not allowed to share my screen, so you might have to allow me.
I will say all panelists. All right, you should be good now.
Okay.
There she is.
Right, you can see, right?
Property. Yeah. So where in New Mexico is this property?
So Bola County. And first thing you notice is trees, which I've said before when we've talked about the timber on properties. I didn't think New Mexico had trees, which is silly because I know I'm from Texas and people are like, oh, is there tumbleweed and do you live in the desert? So I should know better than to assume that, but tons of trees.
Tons of trees. You can see it has a road right in front of the property there.
Yep. Easy access, pretty well maintained. I have to do this so slow with my mouse, it'll jump, but I want to get to all the parks and monuments and
yeah. What's around here? See, there's a reservation not too far away. I saw El Morro National Monument was a little north there.
Because they just disappear on me quick. Go a little slower. Yeah, the El Morro National Monument has tons of hiking trails. You should see the monuments there are absolutely gorgeous. There it is up there. Yeah, the Wolf Sanctuary, the Zuni Mountains all around. The Indian Reservation is there. It's an awesome area for climbing, hiking, caving.
Yeah.
A lot of people love caving. There's lots of caves there, including an ice cave. Who would have thought New Mexico had an ice cave and a volcano they have in just this one county.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. There's a few more wilderness areas, all kinds of stuff. Okay, but this property in particular, 5.5 acres in Pine Meadows, which is a subdivision. And I think one of the biggest things about this to point out is that it does allow for full-time RV, because we get that. I don't know if you do. I shouldn't say we. I know I do, so I'm assuming that you do get that question a lot. Mm-hmm. How long can I stay in RV? Maybe you don't want to do it, 365 days a year, but maybe you want to come all summer long. you can on this property, which that's pretty rare, it seems. Most properties don't allow it. They'll do it kind of a 2-week limit, but this property actually does allow you to. So
That's true.
yeah, it is an off-grid property, but the town of Pine Hill, which is about 20 minutes away, actually has a community well there. I found out last week, and it's open 24/7. You just have to get a pass. You have to just register, get a pass, and then you pay 30 cents a gallon. So if you even just wanted to do water hauling, if you were going to just stay for a short period of time, that's a really easy way to do it. It's very accessible. So I personally have never seen that before in any of our properties. I don't know if you have heard of that before.
No, I sure haven't.
A few of the properties we had earlier had a well close in Pine Meadows, but this one does not. But Pine Hill, the city, does have one. So I thought that was really cool. And there's Cibola National Forest, which is 1.6 million acres, which would have been impressive if we didn't just learn that it's a term of 2 million acres. So it's not that impressive, but still pretty big. Full of trees, and the elevation is, I think it goes from 2,700 all the way up to 11,000. So there's just the tall monuments everywhere, mountains, valleys, just anything that you can think of.
Well, I think what's so unique about this area to me, I think about areas we have like in Costilla County or in Park County, Colorado, or in Tiburon in New Mexico. And there will be thousands and thousands and thousands of lots out there. And or in Klamath County in Oregon, which is great. But for someone that really wants to get away and not have many people around, here you're not going to have many people around at all because there's not thousands and thousands of subdivided properties. So I would say on top of the RV, for someone that really wants to have peace and quiet and get away, this is a great place for them.
I think Pine Hill has a couple hundred people is all that's in it. 216, I think the census said. It's quite small. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Small. Oh, and let me switch this because also really cool. It's nice and square, rectangle shape. It's not a weird shaped property, and you can then see, look at all the trees on it. But there's enough clearing where if you wanted to have an RV or a little cabin, you might not even have to clear much. So I just think it's a perfect combination of trees and open space.
When you can see south of this property, I don't believe it's BLM land, but you can see there's this huge chunk of yellow right below the property. So you don't have to worry about people building behind you because it's not subdivided or anything south of the property.
Yeah. Yeah. It'll never be crowded. Yay.
Yay for that.
Just what they're looking for, I'm sure.
What else, Christy? What's the property taxes on this property?
So the price, the $6,999 cash, $7,999 finance, which is $500 down, $199 a month. That $500 down is split between the $249 document fee and then $251 you have immediate equity. So, and then annual taxes, $65 a year, $6 a month, practically free.
It is.
You could either pay property taxes or go to McDonald's. I'd rather pay the property taxes.
Well, and the other thing here I think that's interesting is there's really very minimal restrictions. There's no minimum square footage on a house. You can have mobile homes. So it's just very open, and not just with camping and RVing, which is fantastic. You can build a tiny home. You could build a 3,000 square foot home if you wanted to. All of those options are at your disposal.
Yeah. And Dave, I don't know, maybe you know this, but what about horses? Would they be, because it doesn't, since it's non-residential, it doesn't say agriculture though.
I don't know. That's one I don't know. That's a good question. We'd have to go back to the county to ask.
Yeah, I wonder. It seems like they would probably allow it because they don't seem strict, but that would be a good question for them. Sure. That
is a good question. And on this property on the website, if you want to scroll down a little bit further there, Christy, these are area photos, my friends. So these aren't photos of the property. We had some general photos taken care of because it's so far out in the middle of nowhere. It's hard to find photographers to get out there. So all of these photos are general area photos, but it gives you a really good flavor of what to expect. You can see a lot of the trees there, nice greenness. I was looking earlier actually at the weather to see what is the weather like out there. And what I saw, I'll share my screen if it lets me. So here's the average weather. You can see it's really quite stable throughout the whole year. In January, 70 to 90 degrees. In February, about 70 to 90 degrees. In March, 70 to 90 degrees. I mean, it's right in that wonderful, beautiful range. You can see it doesn't really get over 100 at all. Interestingly enough, rainy season is now during the summer. So that helps to keep things cool. Get about 10 inches in June, 9 in July, 10 in August. See, on average here, no snow around Elmore, unless I have the wrong. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I may have messed up. Whoops. See?
It happens to the best of us.
I lied.
Because I was going to say, I should have looked at that too, because I think it actually does snow there several months out of the year.
It does.
Yeah.
I lied, everybody. So you can get snow in December and January. So it does get cool there. And
but you were right about the summer temperatures, because I think the average high in the hottest month, which is July, is like 87 and super low humidity.
So there we go. It's not the moderate that I thought it was, but for those of you that are baking in Phoenix or Albuquerque or someplace like this, what a great place to get away to over the summertime. And then you go back.
2 hours from Albuquerque too.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh well.
Here and get out of town and just go climbing and caving and camping.
Yes. All right, Christy, anything else you want to add? Anything about this property that we should let folks know about that we haven't done yet?
If you like it, you better get it before I do.
There you go.
I told you New Mexico's on my list, which I never would have thought, but after seeing the pictures, I'm just, wow.
And as Christy said, it's if you want to do owner financing, require a minimum of $500 down. That's it, and $199 a month. Or if you want to do cash, you get $1,000 off for $7,000 bucks. So let us know. We've seen these properties go pretty quick in this new area that we haven't done much in before. So let us know, and we'll talk to you soon. Any other closing thoughts, Christy? People, if they want to get a hold of you, if they want to talk over that property or all the properties that we have, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so call or text me. That's always a good one. And that number is, let me read it out quickly so I don't get it wrong, 971-248-6715. And an email, of course, is also fine, which is sales@genfamland.com.
There we go, my friends. Well, that wraps up the episode today. Tune in every Monday at 11:30 a.m. Central on Facebook. We're a little later today than normal, but hope you still got some great value out of it. And if you have a question about land, send it to me or to Christy. You can do sales@genfamland.com or submit it through Facebook. Well, thank you so much for tuning into Land Stories with me, Dave Deniston, and Christy. Make sure to check out all of our properties at www.genfamproperties.com. And if you are looking for land, we would love to speak with you. Christy, what is your phone number once again?
971-248-6715.
All right, there you go, my friends. Have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.